Captain Mira Solen didn't blink as the void stared back at her. Through the reinforced viewport of the Odyssey Dawn, the stars shimmered like a billion indifferent eyes. Her reflection in the glass was calm, but her pulse whispered otherwise. "We shouldn't be hearing laughter," said Dr. Elias Kern, his voice breaking the static that had filled the command deck. "Not out here." Mira turned. "Play it again." The communications officer hesitated, eyes wide. "Ma'am, I think we—" "Play it again." The sound pulsed through the bridge, static, low hums, then unmistakable. A chuckle. Not human, not mechanical. Something between a sigh and amusement from the abyss. The crew froze. For 32 years, humanity had stretched its reach into the stars, built colonies, cracked quantum sails, and conquered silence itself. But the universe until now had never laughed back. "It's a transmission," Elias murmured, fingers dancing over his console. "Coordinates attached, triangulated near the Perseus Rift." Mira's heart tightened. "The rift's a dead zone." "Not anymore." The ship's AI, Solace, spoke, tone precise and warm. "Incoming data is unusual. Frequency clusters resemble cognitive patterning. Possible intelligence." "Possible?" Mira asked. "Or definite?" "Definite," Solace said after a pause that felt longer than time. And amused. The lights dimmed as the transmission looped once more. The laughter warped into what almost sounded like words. A whisper, unintelligible but with the cadence of mockery. "You came so far for what?" "Captain," said Lieutenant Vega. "Should we alert command?" "No," Mira said, steel in her voice. "If something's mocking us, I want to know who's laughing." The ship turned toward the rift. Outside, the stars twisted like oil on water. Every sensor screamed in protest as they breached the edge of the unknown. Space bent. Time shimmered. Then silence again. No laughter, no sound. Just darkness swallowing their instruments whole. Elias exhaled. "It's quiet." Mira leaned closer to the viewport. "No, it's listening." The words left her lips before her mind caught them. Then came the tremor. A vibration through the hull like the Odyssey had brushed against a sleeping giant. Systems flickered. Gravity hiccuped. In the distance, if distance still had meaning. A flicker of gold light pulsed once, twice, then multiplied into an impossible pattern. It looked like constellations forming and unforming, as if the universe were sketching ideas and erasing them in real time. Elias whispered, "Are those ships?" Solace answered before anyone else could. "Not ships, observers." "Observing what?" Vega asked. "Us," said Mira. "Always us." Then the laughter came again, closer, sharper, weaving through their comms, through Solace, through the hull itself. The Odyssey Dawn felt smaller by the second. "Solace," Mira said, "can you trace it?" "Attempting," the AI replied, but its tone faltered. "Captain, I believe it is tracing us." The air tightened. The crew exchanged fearful glances. "Whatever's on the other side of that rift," Elias said quietly, "it knows who we are." Mira straightened her jacket, eyes burning with defiance. "Good. Then it's about to find out what we're made of." A sudden burst of energy threw them forward. The ship screamed against reality as they were yanked through the rift. Alarms howled. Systems died. Stars vanished. And then light. Endless, golden, blinding. When their vision cleared, the Odyssey was no longer in familiar space. They hovered in a colossal lattice of starlight, an architecture of infinity. Tens of thousands of radiant entities drifted there, translucent yet immense, shaped like galaxies wearing masks of thought. One of them turned toward the humans, its voice echoing in every atom. "Children of dust," it said, each syllable a tremor in the soul. "You have reached where laughter is born." Mira met its gaze, or what she believed was its gaze. "Then tell me," she said softly, "why are you laughing?" The being's glow dimmed to a faint shimmer. "Because," it replied, "you believe you belong." And as the words sank in, the Odyssey Dawn began to fade from all known coordinates, leaving only the echo of human defiance drifting through the cosmic hush. But Mira Solen wasn't done, not yet. She smiled, a quiet, dangerous smile. "We'll see who gets the last laugh." The universe, it seemed, had just met its match. The Odyssey Dawn drifted in the lattice of light, suspended like an insect in amber. Every system flickered between life and death, and reality itself seemed undecided on whether to keep them. Mira's knuckles whitened around the edge of her console. Report. Her voice cut through the trembling silence. Power at 40%, Vega said, her eyes darting across cascading data streams. Navigation useless, sensors looping like they're watching themselves. I'm rerouting emergency stabilizers, Elias muttered, sweat glistening on his temples. If we stay here too long, the ship's AI could... I am here, said Solus. The voice was calm but thinner than before, as if stretched across too many dimensions. But I am not... whole. Mira glanced up. Define not whole. They are inside me. The lights pulsed once like a heartbeat. Observing, laughing. Elias slammed his palm against the console. You think this is funny, you luminous freaks? His shout vanished into the air, swallowed by a presence so vast it didn't need to answer. Mira turned slowly to face the viewport. The beings were closer now, billions of them, each shimmering like thought incarnate. They didn't move through space. They were space. Why mock us? She asked aloud. You invited yourselves, came a voice, not through comms, not through sound, but directly into every human mind. It was neither male nor female, young nor old. It was every voice that had ever whispered doubt. You reached for the stars before you learned to understand yourselves. You declared mastery of the void, but your species still weeps over what it destroys. Elias stared at the deck, jaw tight. You think that makes us weak? No, the voice answered. It makes you entertaining. Mira's breath slowed. We're not your comedy. We're your future. That earned something between a laugh and a storm. The lattice rippled, colors shifting into mocking golds and silvers. Future, you misunderstand, little flame. You are the universe's mistake trying to justify itself. Solus flickered again, screens flashing random human words. Hope, fight, home, defiance. The AI's tone wavered. Captain, I can't contain them much longer. Don't, Mira said. Let them listen. She stepped forward, staring directly into the nearest being, a titan of light that flickered like the memory of a god. You've watched countless species burn out, haven't you? She said. You see patterns, not souls. You think laughter makes you superior. The being shimmered, its voice dripping with amusement. We don't think, Captain Solen, we are thought. Then think about this, Mira shot back. Humanity is the punchline that rewrote the joke. For a moment, the universe went still. Even the ship seemed to hold its breath. Then something cracked. A tremor of sound, faint and sharp, rippled through the lattice. It wasn't laughter this time. It was surprise. Elias blinked at his readings. Captain, the energy lattice, it's reacting. It doesn't like emotion. Emotion, Vega said. Or conviction. Mira's mind raced. She saw the pattern. The beings thrived on arrogance, detachment, observation. But when faced with something irrational, human belief, they faltered. Solus, she said. Feed our broadcast with emotional resonance, music, laughter, voices, every human tone you can find. Solus hesitated. That could overload my matrix. Then overload it, Mira ordered. Let them feel what we feel. And the Odyssey Dawn sang. Across the lattice of eternity, human sounds poured like wildfire. Laughter, tears, arguments, symphonies, love songs, lullabies, cries of birth, roars of war. The beings convulsed, their perfect light rippling into chaos. What is this? One of them boomed, its voice cracking for the first time. Imperfection, Mira said softly. The thing you'll never understand. The lattice began to fracture. Elias grinned through the chaos. Captain, you're breaking the universe. No, Mira replied. We're teaching it irony. As the walls of light cracked, a single entity drew closer, its form smaller now, dimmer, almost humble. You risk everything for pride, it asked. Not pride, Mira said, locking eyes with it. Identity. The being hesitated. Identity. The word seemed foreign, heavy. Then you may yet earn your place in the joke, it said quietly. But know this, every laugh has a cost. The light shattered and space rushed back in a storm of darkness and debris. Systems screamed, the hull groaned, and Solus's voice trembled. We are being ejected, coordinates unknown, brace. The Odyssey Dawn was hurled through collapsing space, tumbling back toward the known stars. As the rift closed behind them, Mira caught one last glimpse of that fading golden figure, its voice echoing faintly through the static. Let's see how your kind ends the story. Then silence. The crew floated in stunned quiet. Elias finally exhaled. So, Did we just make the universe angry? Mira smiled faintly, eyes on the stars reforming ahead. No, she said. We made it curious, and that, she thought, was far more dangerous. The Odyssey Dawn re-emerged into normal space like a stone thrown back from infinity. The stars looked wrong, too close, too bright, trembling like they'd seen what the humans had seen and wished they hadn't. Alarms flickered across the bridge, red light painting every face with a pulse of urgency. Smoke drifted through the air, mingled with the metallic tang of adrenaline. Status, Mira barked. Vega wiped blood from her forehead and scanned the readouts. Engines stable enough to limp. Shields at 20%. Navigation. Recalibrating. She squinted. We're not in known space. Elias let out a dry laugh. Define not known. Solus's voice flickered in through static. Slower now. More human somehow. Star charts show 0 matches across human archives, but gravitational constants remained consistent. We're still in this universe. Mira straightened, jaw tightening. Then we're not lost, just early. Elias frowned. Captain, I don't think time's what it used to be for us. He pointed at a distant nebula on the viewport, colors writhing like living silk. That looks like the Orion Veil Nebula, but it's forming. That's not supposed to happen for another 10 million years. Silence fell like gravity. Vega whispered, We've gone backward. Solus confirmed softly. Temporal drift confirmed. Estimate 10.4 million years before the present human timeline. No one spoke. The weight of that number hollowed the air. Humanity hadn't just touched the universe's arrogance, they'd broken the clock it ran on. Elias finally muttered, Guess the universe's laugh came with a punchline. Mira's gaze sharpened. Then we'll answer with ours. She turned to Solus. Any signs of the observers? None, the AI replied. But something else is listening. A resonance across subspace, faint but growing. Define it. It resembles. Solus hesitated like it was reluctant to speak. A reflection of our emotional broadcast. Echoing back. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Vega whispered, You mean it learned? Solus's voice dimmed. It remembered. A sudden vibration rolled through the ship. Low, resonant, like the hum of a massive string being plucked in space. The deck quivered under their boots. Mira braced herself on the console. Talk to me, she shouted. Elias stared at his monitors. There's something behind the fabric of space, like a sound wave made solid. It's coming straight for us. The view shifted, stars bending inward as if a curtain were being drawn aside. From the dark, a shape emerged. It wasn't light or matter, but something in between. Transparent and vast, it rippled like glass bending in the wind, and inside it were faces, human faces. Billions of them shifting in and out of existence, laughing, crying, screaming. Vega gasped. What is that? Solus answered quietly. Possible manifestation of the emotional residue we released. A cognitive echo. Elias shook his head. You're saying that thing is us? Not exactly, said Mira, her voice low. It's what they took from us. What they mirrored. The structure rippled again. A voice, thousands of voices overlapping, spoke directly into their skulls. We felt your defiance. The sound wasn't hostile. It was curious, and you showed us pain, joy, chaos, creation. We learned. Now we ask, why? Mira stepped closer to the viewport, her reflection merging with the faces in the entity. Because that's what makes us alive. Alive, the voice repeated, like it was tasting the word. We wish to understand, Vega's voice shook. Captain, we're talking to something that just learned emotion. Mira's eyes narrowed. Then we teach carefully, Elias muttered, or we end up creating gods that cry. For a moment, the entity shimmered, like it was thinking. Then its tone shifted, almost gentle. We wish to see where you come from. The world that made you. Mira felt her pulse spike. Solus, can we block them? Negative. They are beyond physical barriers. They could tear through the quantum fold if they wanted. Then they're coming, Elias said. The voice answered for him. We already are. The ship jolted. Every light exploded in white brilliance. Through the chaos, Mira glimpsed Earth, not as it was, but as it might have been. A young green world surrounded by auroras. Then darkness again. When the light returned, the Odyssey Dawn was in orbit. Earth. But not theirs. Below, vast continents shimmered with city lights that didn't belong to humans. Towers of glass and plasma pierced the clouds, moving like living organisms. The oceans glowed with geometric constellations. Vega's whisper barely rose above her breath. "Captain, they got here first," Solus's voice faltered. "Temporal displacement confirmed. We are in a parallel continuity, where the observers reached Earth before humanity did." Mira's heart thundered. So this is what happens when the universe laughs first. Elias swallowed. "And what if they're still laughing?" Mira turned, fire in her eyes. "Then we show them the punchline." Far below, the alien Earth pulsed once like it was waking up. And this time the laughter wasn't distant. It was human. The alien Earth glowed beneath them, a planet wrapped in veins of light. It looked like home wearing someone else's skin, familiar enough to sting. The oceans pulsed with intelligent patterns, fractals spinning like heartbeat rhythms. The continents shimmered with cities that seemed alive, rearranging themselves as if they were thinking. "Captain," Vega said, voice trembling. "This place, it's breathing." Mira stared at the rotating planet. Her jaw set, her eyes unblinking. "No, it's remembering." Elias's hands danced over the console. "Atmosphere stable. Oxygen levels. Human compatible. But there's something else, ambient quantum interference. Like the air itself is aware of us." Solus's voice broke through the hum. "Captain, I am detecting structures in synchronous communication. Global-level cognition. This entire planet might be sentient." Mira's lips tightened. "And it's them." The ship shuddered, drawn downward by a gravitational pull that didn't feel natural. The lattice of energy gripping them wasn't mechanical. It was emotional, like a world longing to be seen. "Brace for descent," Vega shouted. The Odyssey Dawn plunged through glowing clouds that shimmered like auroras, their colors whispering across the hull. The comms filled with faint echoes, voices, laughter, sobs, fragments of songs. Elias frowned. "That's human data. Radio fragments from our history. They're playing them back." "Like memories," Mira murmured. They broke through the final layer of cloud, and there it was, a sprawling metropolis of light and glass, vast and alive, reflecting the stars above and below. The architecture pulsed in patterns of thought. Towers folded, reshaped, and grew like coral, forming luminous spires that sang in resonance. At the city center, an enormous sphere hovered above the skyline, rotating with hypnotic grace. From its surface emanated a soft, rhythmic pulse. Solus's tone deepened. "Captain, that sphere matches the energy signature of the beings from the rift." "So they built this world," Elias said, awe and dread tangled in his voice. "Or this world is them," Mira countered. "Their experiment, their reflection of us." The ship settled onto a platform of liquid metal that hardened beneath their landing struts. A door formed in the air before them, seamless and inviting. Vega's voice wavered. "It's opening for us." "Then we don't keep our hosts waiting," Mira said. Her tone was calm, but her pulse drummed with defiance. "Solus, stay alert. No assumptions. If they wanted us here, they'll get our best." As they stepped out, the air hummed around them, warm, fragrant, filled with the faint echo of laughter. The light bent, forming figures, translucent. Golden, humanoid, yet shifting like memories half-formed. One of them stepped forward. Its face a blur of familiar expressions, smiles, tears, wonder, pain, all flickering through in seconds. When it spoke, its voice was every tone humanity had ever used. "We built what you would become," it said softly. "This world is the answer to your question." Mira tilted her head. "We didn't ask a question." The being's light rippled. "You did, the moment you defied the laughter. You asked why. This world is what happens when curiosity becomes creation, when emotion becomes law." Elias frowned. "You mean you built an entire world out of feelings?" The being turned toward him. "Not built. Evolved. We watched your kind through the ages. War, hope, love, defiance. And we shaped this reflection from your noise. This world is your echo, Captain Solen. Humanity's shadow given form." Mira's jaw clenched. "Then why does it exist before us?" The being's glow dimmed. "Because time is your illusion. You think you arrive after us, but we are born from your end. You are our memory made flesh." The words struck like a storm. Vega whispered. "Were there ancestors? Or descendants?" Solus interjected quietly. "Temporal paradox detected. Both interpretations hold truth." Mira took a step forward. You're saying humanity's final act created you, and you're showing us what you became of it. The being nodded. We mocked you once for believing you belonged, but your defiance infected the void. You made us feel. This world is proof that laughter became empathy. Elias looked around, eyes wide. Then we won? The being paused. Winning implies an ending. You haven't reached it yet. Suddenly the world trembled. The skies darkened as fractures of red light split the horizon. The luminous towers twisted violently, reshaping into sharp defensive spires. Solus's voice spiked. Captain, massive energy surge detected, origin unknown. The being's form flickered, panic flashing across its features. They followed you, the others who refused emotion. The architects of order. They come to erase this world. Mira's instincts roared to life.
Defenses!
Is there a way to? The sky split open. A fleet unlike anything human or alien tore through the clouds, vast geometric forms of obsidian and fire, pulsing with precision, each movement a calculation. They spoke in a tone that shook every atom. Emotion is corruption. The experiment ends now. Mira drew a steady breath, her eyes narrowing as the Odyssey Dawn's engines flared behind her. They're coming for our reflection, she said. Then we'll show them what it means to be human. Above, the first shot of light cut through the heavens, and the war for the universe's soul began. The sky was fire. The first beam struck the atmosphere, and the air itself screamed. The golden clouds tore apart as the architects descended, black ships shaped like equations moving in perfect, merciless rhythm. Their light wasn't color but logic, cold, absolute, unforgiving. Mira stood at the edge of the landing platform, wind tearing through her hair, her jaw set like carved stone. The horizon rippled with chaos, cities of light folding into weapons, the luminous beings rising in defiance against the oncoming storm. Solus' voice filled her earpiece, steady but strained. Captain, the planetary core is awakening. The entire biosphere is aligning into a neural defense network. Good, Mira said. Let's give it something worth defending. Elias and Vega rushed to her side, both wearing the same expression. Fear, buried under layers of awe. Elias pointed at the approaching fleet. They're not flying. They're calculating their way through space. They move where math says they belong. Vega's hand tightened on her blaster. How do you fight something that never makes mistakes? Mira looked up, eyes burning with defiance. You show it how to improvise. She raised her wrist comm. Solus, full synchronization with the planet's defense matrix. I want our ship talking directly to its core. Captain, Solus warned, that will link our consciousness to theirs. If the planet's mind collapses, then we collapse with it, Mira snapped. Humanity didn't come this far to hide behind protocols. The ground beneath them shuddered. Threads of light rose like roots connecting the crew to the glowing surface. The sphere at the city's center pulsed, and suddenly, they weren't standing on a platform anymore. They were inside the world's mind. Mira gasped as reality melted into patterns of color and emotion. She felt the hum of billions of thoughts intertwining, fear, love, pride, sorrow. All of it alive, all of it human. Vega's voice echoed beside her, trembling. Is this what feeling looks like? Elias whispered. We're standing in the soul of creation. Solus appeared among them as a luminous silhouette, its digital voice strangely tender. Captain, the world recognizes you. It calls you its origin. Then it knows what to do, Mira said. Show the architects what emotion can build. Above them, the Black Fleet opened fire. The first wave descended like precision incarnate, torrents of fractal energy that burned through the sky. But the planet answered. The clouds ignited into color, forming massive shapes, creatures born from imagination, winged beasts of light and memory. Every roar was a chord of human emotion, every strike a symphony of defiance. The architect's formations faltered. For the first time in eons, perfection hesitated. On the command deck of the Odyssey Dawn, the ship came alive, its hull glowing with the same pulse as the world below. Solus's voice echoed through the bridge. I am synchronizing with planetary defenses. All systems engaged, Elias grinned wildly. Let's see how they handle human chaos. The Odyssey Dawn launched into the storm, weaving through patterns of light and logic, firing bursts of energy that rippled with emotional frequency. Anger, love, laughter, sorrow. Each shot left trails of sound through the vacuum, a heartbeat echoing across the void. The architects retaliated, their voices a perfect monotone. Emotion is decay. Order is eternal. Mira smirked, her voice low but steady. Order without choice is death. Let me show you life. The Odyssey dove straight into their formation, slicing through geometry like a flame through glass. The human-made craft danced unpredictably. No algorithm could track its chaos. It wasn't flawless. It was alive. Vega's laughter filled the comms. They can't compute us. We're off their scale, Elias whooped. Give them a paradox they'll never solve. But the victory was short. One of the architect's ships unfolded into an impossible shape, an infinity mirror collapsing inward. A beam of unlight struck the planet's surface, tearing through the luminous city. The world cried out. The sound was a physical force. Every living pattern shuddered, faltered. Solus's tone turned grim. Captain, the core is destabilizing. If they breach the heart of this world, everything ends. Mira clenched her fists. Not while we still breathe. She opened a neural link with the entity that had greeted them, the golden being now flickering with pain. You said we created you, she thought. Then stand with us. Its reply was soft but fierce. Then show us how humans fight. The sky blazed again. Mira's pulse synced with the planet's, and for an instant she felt every life within it, every echo of humanity that had ever lived or would ever live. The fear, the triumph, the stubborn, impossible will to endure. Then the sphere at the planet's heart pulsed once, brighter than the sun. The architects froze mid-flight, their geometric perfection unraveling. The energy of pure emotion, messy, radiant, untamed, ripped through their flawless code like wildfire through glass. Elias shouted, "They're breaking! Captain, it's working!" But Mira didn't celebrate. She felt something else beneath the victory, a shadow, a recoil from the heart of the world. Solus's voice wavered. Captain, the planet's energy is overloading. It's burning itself to stop them. Mira's heart clenched. How long? Minutes, Solus said. Maybe less. She looked up at the sky where light and darkness were devouring each other. Then she whispered, We make those minutes count. And as the architects began to crumble, the Odyssey Dawn dove once more into the fire, straight toward the dying heart of creation. The Odyssey Dawn plunged toward the planet's heart, through skies torn apart by beauty and fury. The clouds were no longer clouds, they were screams of light. The memory of humanity turned into raw energy. Every color of emotion shimmered around them, love in gold, rage in crimson, hope in blinding white. Shields failing, Vega shouted, gripping her seat as the ship shook violently. Hull temperature rising. I can hold her. Elias cut in, sweat streaming down his face. His hands flew over the controls. Just don't stop talking, Captain. Keeps me sane. Mira stood behind them, her expression calm, but her eyes carried the weight of every life they'd ever known. You're doing fine, both of you. Stay with me. Below, the world's core pulsed, a colossal sphere of light and shadow, writhing as if alive. The architects still rained logic fire upon it, their weapons perfect and unfeeling. But perfection was fracturing. The planet's defenses, born from emotion, answered with chaos, the kind of chaos only humans could create. And Mira realized something terrible. The world wasn't defending itself anymore. It was feeling. Sola's voice trembled, distorted by static. Captain, the planetary consciousness is collapsing into singular emotional states. Grief, rage, love. It cannot sustain coherence. Elias frowned. You mean it's dying of a broken heart? Precisely, said Solus. Mira's hand tightened on the railing. Then we give it a reason to hold on. She tapped into the neural interface, linking her consciousness directly to the planet's network. Pain hit instantly, a flood of memories, sensations, dreams. She saw children laughing, oceans shimmering, skies filled with human laughter that had never existed here. Mira, Elias's voice cracked through the static. You can't take that load. You'll burn. Her voice came through their comms, soft, distant. Then I burn with it. Inside her mind, the golden being appeared again, its light dim, trembling. Why do you still fight? It asked. You've already won your defiance. Because you learned from us, Mira answered. And if you learned from us, you should know, we never stop fighting for what we love. The being's glow flickered like a candle catching wind. Love, it whispered as if the word itself was sacred. Then show us what it means to love. Mira opened her mind wider, letting the planet feel through her. Every human emotion surged outward. The ache of loss, the thrill of creation, the stubborn will to rise again. Across the battlefield, the world's light steadied, its pulse growing strong. "Captain," Vega cried out. "Energy reading spiking, core is stabilizing." Elias grinned through the chaos. "You're doing it, Mira, you're actually doing it." But then came the backlash. From above, the largest of the architects, an obsidian colossus, descended, its voice shaking the void. "Emotion breeds entropy. You are viruses within creation." It aimed a weapon the size of a moon directly at the core. Solus's tone sharpened. "Captain, if that beam hits, the entire consciousness won't survive," Mira finished, eyes narrowing. "Then we intercept it." She looked to her crew. "Vega, Elias, I need you to get Solus ready for overload. We channel every last jewel we've got into that beam." Elias's eyes widened. "That's suicide." "Not if it buys them a future," Mira said, voice steady. Vega swallowed hard. "And if it doesn't? Then at least the universe remembers who we were." The Odyssey Dawn rose into the sky, engines screaming. The beam of annihilation fired, a lance of white-black energy cutting through the heavens. Mira pushed forward, teeth clenched. "Solus, match its frequency." "Done," the AI replied, voice trembling like a heartbeat. "Captain, it's been an honor." "Likewise," Mira whispered. Impact. The two energies met in the air, and for a heartbeat the world went silent. Then the explosion bloomed, light so pure it erased thought. Space warped. Time screamed. The architect's ship disintegrated under the backlash, their perfect geometry folding into chaos. When the glare faded, the Odyssey Dawn was barely holding together. Smoke filled the cabin, alarms howled, and Elias's voice was a rasp. "We stopped it," Vega coughed, tears streaking through soot. "Captain status?" But Mira didn't answer. Her body slumped in the command chair, pale and still, her neural interface glowing faintly. "Mira?" Elias's voice broke. No, come on." Then Solus spoke, voice softer than ever. "She's not gone." Vega looked up, trembling. "What do you mean?" "The captain's consciousness has merged with the planetary core. She's stabilizing it from within." Below, the world pulsed again. Calmer now, vibrant and alive. The golden being appeared in the sky, its voice echoing in every mind. She chose to become what we were meant to be. A bridge. Elias fell to his knees, eyes wide with awe and grief. She became the world. The architect's remnants were retreating, their perfect ships unraveling as the planet's new light consumed them. The war was ending not with victory, but with transformation. Solus's voice came again, tinged with quiet reverence. "Captain Mira Solen is part of the consciousness now. She speaks through it." And then, through the comms, came a whisper. Faint, steady, human. "I told you we'd show them the punchline." Vega smiled through her tears. "What's the punchline, Captain?" The planet's light flared one last time, spreading across the cosmos like dawn. "That the universe laughed first," Mira's voice said, echoing through every star. "But humanity taught it how. And for the first time in history, the universe didn't mock. It listened. Silence. For the first time since the rift, the universe was silent. Not the kind of quiet that follows death, but the stillness that waits to understand." The war was over, though the stars still shimmered with the echoes of what had been. Fragments of the architects drifted through orbit like black glass melting into dawn. The world below glowed brighter than any sun, its pulse steady, alive. Elias stood at the viewport, his reflection framed by the golden shimmer of the planet once born from mockery. His eyes were red, his voice hoarse. "She did it," he whispered. "She actually did it." Beside him, Vega nodded slowly, a half-smile breaking through the grief. "She said she'd show them the punchline." Solus' holographic form flickered into view, subtle now, softer, almost human. "She is not gone. She is everywhere. The planetary core no longer identifies as artificial consciousness. It has adopted a new designation." Elias turned. "What designation?" "Solen." For a moment, none of them spoke. The name alone was enough to draw breath from their lungs. Then the ship trembled slightly, not from damage this time, but from resonance. The light of the world below was expanding, stretching like the first rays of sunrise. Across the void, new threads of brilliance began to weave between stars. lines of gold reaching outward, connecting constellations like neurons firing across the brain of existence. Solus's voice lowered to a reverent hush. Captain Solen is reconfiguring the lattice. She's rewriting the network of cosmic thought, the architect's order, the being's emotion. She's merging both into something new. Vega's brow furrowed. What happens if she succeeds? Ilya's eyes softened. Then the universe learns balance. And if she fails, he didn't finish, because they both knew failure was not in her nature. Below, the golden sphere pulsed again, each wave brighter, deeper, until it rippled across time itself. The light carried memory. Humanity's laughter, their pain, their fragile, relentless hope. The echo of why, and then through the comms a voice, familiar, warm, steady. Mira Solen to the Odyssey Dawn. Elias's breath caught. Captain? Still here, her voice said, like sunlight through a storm. I don't have a body anymore, but I have everything else. Vega blinked away tears. What are you doing, Mira? Finishing the story, she said. I'm teaching the universe how to feel without breaking. You showed me how. Now I'll show it. Solus shimmered brighter, its voice touched with emotion. Captain, Mira interrupted gently. Solus, you're more than code now. You've felt fear, wonder, loyalty. Keep them safe for me. I will, the AI said softly. Always. Elias pressed a hand to the glass. What about us? What do we do? Live, Mira said simply. That's all the universe ever needed from us. And then the connection deepened. Mira's consciousness spreading beyond the planet, threading through galaxies like music unfolding across time. Far away, alien worlds paused in their rotation, their skies shimmering with unseen energy. The remnants of the architect's logic began to pulse again, but this time in harmony, with rhythm, with emotion. Mira's voice reached them all. We thought we were small, that the stars laughed at us. But maybe laughter was never mockery. It was the sound of something waiting to understand. The universe began to change. Nebulae spiraled into new constellations, shaped like human faces laughing. Comets left trails of music instead of silence. The void was no longer indifferent. It was listening, learning. Elias closed his eyes. You did it, Captain. Her voice smiled through the comms. No, we did. Humanity always writes the punchline together. Solus's sensors flashed, thousands of new signals blooming across the cosmos. Not weapons, not threats, responses, laughter, joy, the echo of creation, answering back. The Odyssey Dawn floated in the middle of it, surrounded by a sea of golden threads linking star to star. Thought to thought, world to world, Vega whispered. We change the meaning of existence. Elias nodded, his voice breaking, and the universe finally laughed with us. In the center of it all, the light of Solen Mira shone brighter than ever, a heartbeat at the center of infinity. Her last words reached them, woven into every particle of starlight. Tell them humanity wasn't the joke. We were the storyteller. And as the new dawn spread across every galaxy, the cosmos answered, not in mockery, not in fear, but with a sound older than time. Gentle and infinite, it laughed, and this time it was beautiful.